In a distant galaxy, light years away from Earth, there existed a planet called Xelyr, a place of intrigue and mystique, ruled by barons who wielded unimaginable power. Among them was Baron Xelyr, a cunning and ruthless leader who governed his vast territories with an iron fist. Known for his unrelenting ambition and a streak of cruel humor, Xelyr's name evoked both fear and respect across the star systems. But even Xelyr harbored a secret, a daughter named Alyndra, who had been born paralyzed from the neck down, a condition rare and incurable even in their advanced civilization. Her existence was hidden from most, for the Baron saw her as a weakness, a stain on his legacy of strength. One fateful day, a stranger arrived on Xelyr. He was Korran, a resourceful scavenger who roamed the galaxy in search of oddities and opportunities. Korran's reputation was as a man who turned junk into treasures, a survivor who never lingered too long in one place. He had come to Xelyr's domain hoping to trade some rare artifacts he had uncovered in a forgotten asteroid belt. Little did he know, this trip would alter the course of his life forever. When Korran arrived at Baron Xelyr's fortress, he was ushered into the Grand Hall, a place where extravagance and menace coexisted. The Baron, with his piercing, reptilian eyes and a smirk that suggested he was always 5 steps ahead, inspected Korran with curiosity. A scavenger, Xelyr mused, his voice smooth yet menacing. "What treasures have you brought me, wanderer?" Korran presented his artifacts, pieces of alien machinery and ancient relics that shimmered with a faint, otherworldly glow. Xelyr examined them, unimpressed yet intrigued by the potential hidden within the objects. "You're bold to come here, scavenger," the Baron remarked. "But I admire boldness. I'll strike a deal with you. Take my daughter off my hands." Korran blinked in confusion, unsure if he had heard correctly. "Your daughter?" Xelyr's smirk deepened. "She's paralyzed, utterly useless to me. Consider it a jest, a token for entertaining me with your wares. Take her, and you'll be compensated handsomely." The room fell silent. Korran's mind raced. To refuse the Baron was unwise, yet to accept seemed absurd. But curiosity got the better of him. "Very well," Korran said cautiously. "I'll take her." Moments later, Alyndra was brought into the hall. Her appearance was striking, though frail, her silver hair glimmered like starlight, and her violet eyes held a depth that hinted at untold stories. Korran could sense a sharp intellect behind her calm demeanor. As they left the fortress, Korran found himself burdened not just by the unexpected responsibility but by an unshakable curiosity about this young woman. She was silent during their journey back to his ship, her expression unreadable. Once aboard, Korran turned to her. "Why did he give you away so easily?" he asked. Alyndra's lips curled into a faint smile. "My father finds no value in things he doesn't understand. But value isn't always obvious." Intrigued by her cryptic response, Korran decided to make her comfortable in the ship's living quarters. Days turned into weeks as they traveled through the galaxy. Alyndra's condition did not hinder her sharp wit and profound knowledge of interstellar mechanics, history, and culture. She seemed to absorb information like a sponge, offering insights that left Korran in awe. One day, as Korran was tinkering with a malfunctioning navigation system, Alyndra spoke up. "Let me help," she said. Korran hesitated. "How?" "Just connect my neural interface to the system," she explained. "I've studied neural integration. Trust me." Reluctantly, Korran followed her instructions. As soon as the connection was made, Alyndra's eyes glowed faintly, and the ship's systems sprang to life. Navigation charts updated, errors corrected themselves, and the ship's efficiency improved tenfold. "How did you do that?" Korran asked, astonished. Alyndra's smile was enigmatic. "My mind is my strength. My body may be paralyzed, but my neural capabilities are unparalleled. My father never cared to see it." From that moment on, Alyndra became an integral part of Korran's operations. She designed advanced systems, deciphered ancient codes, and even predicted the movements of rival scavengers and bounty hunters. Together, they became an unstoppable duo, uncovering treasures and evading dangers that would have been insurmountable for Korran alone. But their success did not go unnoticed. Baron Xelyr, hearing rumors of a scavenger and a paralyzed girl amassing wealth and influence, began to suspect the truth. His curiosity turned to envy, and envy to anger. He could not tolerate the idea that the daughter he had discarded was thriving without him. Xelyr sent emissaries to track them down, offering bounties to anyone who could capture Alyndra. Korran and Alyndra found themselves hunted across the galaxy, forced to outwit and outmaneuver their pursuers. Yet, with Alyndra's intellect and Korran's resourcefulness, they managed to stay one step ahead. In a dramatic confrontation, Xelyr's forces finally cornered them on a remote moon. Outnumbered and outgunned, it seemed their luck had run out. But Alyndra had a plan. Using her neural interface, she hacked into Xelyr's fleet, turning their own weapons against them. The moon's barren surface erupted in chaos as ships fired on each other, and Korran's ship slipped away in the confusion. In the aftermath, Alyndra made a decision. "We can't keep running forever," she said. "It's time to confront him." Korran agreed, though he knew the risks. They returned to Xelyr, sneaking into Xelyr's fortress under the cover of darkness. Alyndra, now confident in her abilities, confronted her father in his grand hall, the same place where she had been discarded. "You thought me useless," she said, her voice steady and powerful. "But I've proven you wrong. Your strength lies in fear and control, but true power comes from understanding and innovation. You've ruled through might, but your reign is over." Xelyr laughed, but it was hollow. "And what will you do, Alyndra? You think words will dethrone me?" "Not words," she replied. "Actions." In that moment, the systems of the fortress shut down. Lights flickered, defenses failed, and the once impenetrable stronghold was rendered vulnerable. Alyndra had taken control, using her unparalleled intellect to dismantle her father's empire from within. Korran and Alyndra left Xelyr as the planet descended into chaos. Xelyr's enemies seized the opportunity to overthrow him, and his reign came to an end. For Alyndra, it was not about revenge but about proving that strength came in many forms. Together, Korran and Alyndra continued their journeys, not as scavengers but as explorers, seekers of knowledge and builders of a better future. And though they traveled far and wide, Alyndra never forgot the lesson she had learned: true potential is not always visible, but when realized, it can change the course of galaxies. Their adventures soon took them to the edge of the galaxy, where legend spoke of a forgotten place, the Vault of Eternum, a repository of unimaginable knowledge and power left behind by an ancient civilization known as the Archean. The vault was said to hold secrets that could reshape the very fabric of reality. It was guarded by puzzles, traps, and tests that had claimed the lives of those who dared to seek it. For Korran and Alyndra, the vault was not just a treasure, it was an opportunity to use its resources to help those who had been oppressed, abandoned, or discarded, just as Alyndra once had been. When they arrived at the vault's entrance, it was a towering monolith carved from black crystal, shimmering with a light that seemed to shift and dance. Inscribed on the surface were symbols and glyphs that pulsed with a rhythmic glow, as though alive. Alyndra's violet eyes lit up with excitement. "This is it," she whispered, her voice carrying both awe and determination. "The challenge I've been waiting for." As they ventured inside, the vault tested not just their intellect but their trust in one another. They encountered labyrinths that reconfigured with every step, riddles that demanded empathy over logic, and trials that forced them to confront their fears and regrets. Alyndra's neural abilities proved invaluable, allowing her to decipher the Archean glyphs and manipulate the vault's shifting architecture. Yet, it was Korran's intuition and courage that balanced her precision, guiding them through moments when sheer willpower was required. At the heart of the vault, they discovered the Nexus Core, a pulsating sphere of energy that seemed to contain the memories, dreams, and wisdom of the Archean. As Alyndra approached it, the core reacted to her presence, enveloping her in a radiant light. For a moment, Korran feared she might be consumed by it, but when the light faded, Alyndra's paralyzed body was no longer confined to her chair. She stood, her limbs strong and steady, her silver hair flowing like a comet's tail. The core had not only healed her but had amplified her intellect and understanding to an extraordinary level. She looked at Korran with tears in her eyes. "I can walk," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "But it's more than that. I can feel everything, the universe, its patterns, its beauty. This is beyond anything we imagined." But the core offered more than healing. It presented a choice, to use its power for personal gain or to channel it outward, creating balance and harmony across the galaxy. Alyndra knew what had to be done. "I can't keep this for myself," she said. "The galaxy needs hope. A chance to rebuild." With Korran by her side, she activated the core, sending waves of energy rippling through space. Across the galaxy, barren planets began to bloom, desolate star systems found light, and technology long thought lost reawakened. Those oppressed by tyrants, including those under Xelyr's former regime, felt a shift, a spark of rebellion and renewal. The galaxy began to heal. As the core's energy stabilized, the vault began to seal itself, its purpose fulfilled. Korran and Alyndra left, knowing they had altered the fate of countless worlds. Alyndra, now whole in body and spirit, was no longer a shadow of her father's shame but a beacon of hope for a galaxy that had long forgotten what it meant to dream. In the years that followed, their legend spread far and wide. They became known not as scavengers but as the Luminaries, seekers of light in the darkest corners of the cosmos. Together, they ventured into the unknown, not for power or wealth but to inspire, to rebuild, and to remind the galaxy that even in the face of cruelty and despair, there is always the possibility of a new beginning. And so, the tale of Korran and Alyndra became etched in the stars, a story whispered by travelers and dreamers who dared to believe that strength is found not in might but in the courage to change and the hope to create something better. "You said